Mhm. Hey there, welcome to Pop Culture Cupid.
I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
And I'm Michal, I'm a single life coach. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self relationship.
In this podcast, we will look at how pop culture impacts romance, dating, and your love life.
And each week, we'll shoot another arrow through another pop culture delusion.
I thought we weren't going to do the whole cheesy thing.
And then burst into smithereens.
Oh my god, dude, that's so cringe!
Sorry, it's in the intro now.
If you make it through the chaos and you enjoy what you hear, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and go to all the social media.
At Pop Culture Cupid on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy!
Nice.
Recording in progress.
Yay! How's it going?
Hello. It's going good. I'm feeling refreshed
Nice.
after a weekend. Well, actually, I've been working the past few days. Before that, we had a long weekend away, and it was really nice and much needed. And yes. How about you?
Good. Well, yeah, things we are having a long weekend away next week. And when I mean long weekend, it's a short week, like it's 5 days. So very, very lucky. Next week we're going to the south of France, and it's getting good. I don't know. I know you know this. I don't know how much I talked about it on the podcast, but I'm moving away from coaching full time and going back into employee job, just because all sorts of reasons really, but mainly the financial stability in France. If you want to move places or become a homeowner and things like that, you need to have stability, well, official contract stability, which you don't really when you are an independent coach. So I've been looking into going back into a paid salary job, and that's been going well. And so if everything goes to the way I would like, I'd start working not next week but the week after. I've got a couple of like second, third round interviews, so it should go fast from now.
Crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
Not that you need it, but still crossing my fingers.
We still, take it all the luck
You
that
never
you need,
know. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you never know. Life has so many different elements, and what's the word I'm looking for? Not compartments.
Well, external factors, and
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that you have no control over, and it is what it is. So
yeah, exactly. And it's you're gonna I'm always just thinking about how I can do better, and how I can how can I help people in the best way, and how can I myself be a better person, and just all these things. And I often catch myself just being quite harsh on myself, but also just then going back to, but the world is so complicated. I mean, 60 years ago you would have never have imagined it was unfathomable to have a friend across the world that you meet up with online every so often.
yeah.
I mean, did you listen to that podcast? Did you re-listen to that podcast with oh, I've forgotten their names now. Stephen Bartlett and his guest.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so we're not
re-listen
talking
to
about that
it.
today.
I will
Okay.
re-listen to it, but I haven't yet. Yeah, but that's a great maybe we should prepare our listeners to listen to it so they can hear it out before we dive into it, because there's a lot to talk about in that podcast. So anyone who wants to be in the loop and wants to listen with us and then talk with us about it, it's a conversation that Stephen Bartlett had with Lori Gottlieb. I think she's a relationship therapist or something like that.
Yeah.
Can't remember now. But yeah, I think the world is getting so much more complicated, and there's so many more elements and factors and things to take into consideration, and just a lot of different variations in the world right now.
Yeah.
So, and you just have to adapt. That's I was just watching a documentary with Sev on Netflix about animals. This is so funny, I'm digressing here, but they're talking about the evolution of the world and of different species and the animals, and how animals that don't adapt to the climate change, or to the earth changing over the decades, they won't survive, and it's just at the end, that Darwin thingy, that
Darwin,
only the
survival of
strong
the
survive.
fittest.
Darwin. Yeah.
Survival of the fittest. I kind of see the link that you were making there, and how human beings, like, we're not surviving, but we're inventing the tools that help us to survive, kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't really link the two, did I? But yeah, that's you have to adapt to the changes.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, you got, yes, there's certain things that, if it's not for you, then don't do it. But if there's other things, though, that are so crucial, that if you don't learn how to adapt to it and work with it instead of against it, you're going to be left behind, or you're just going to end up frustrated and alone, or I don't know, just in a pit somewhere.
I was having lunch with JT yesterday, and so he has a 3.5-year-old. I mean, she's my stepdaughter, and we were talking about her, and and so my expertise is in love coaching and relationships and like emotional awareness and things like that. But to get that expertise, I looked into I studied all sorts of things, including kind of child behavior and things like that, just to have a, it's kind of like if you study maths when you want to do science, like it's part of the thing. And we were talking about how I deal with her and her tantrums, and how her mother deals with her and her tantrums, and all these things. And I was saying, like, I want to shape her into somebody that people want to enjoy to be around. And it kind of, that whole thing of adapting and things, and it's, if she doesn't learn how to adapt, and if she doesn't learn, what boundaries, like, I need to set her boundaries, but I also need to, keep my boundaries firm. Like, for example, I don't know, if I'm taking a shower, she can't just walk into the bathroom while I'm taking a shower and open the curtains and start talking to me. Like, I'm not gonna yell at her, but I'll tell her, you need to get out, and you need to, give me, one, some privacy, and two, just, I want to have some peace and take a shower and things like that. And and so that's just a random example. But another example was that she was having this tantrum, I can't remember when, and so I got frustrated with her, and I just gave her a timeout. I think she hit me, like accidentally hit me, and then I said, don't hit me, like, be careful. And it became this whole thing. She's 3.5, this is normal. And he was saying, oh, but she's only 3.5, I think you're a bit harsh with her. I was like, well, no, she needs to learn, she needs to be set boundaries, because I'm going to love her no matter what, but other people that she hits are not going to love her no matter what, and they're going to want to spend less time with her. And so I made this big comparison about, if you go on a date, you want to be the best version of yourself, and it's not fair, and you would like for other people to adapt to you, but that's not how the world works. You need to adapt to it. Sadly, if you find people who will adapt to you, that's great, but they're a minority of people. If you want to evolve in the world, you need to adapt to it, because it won't adapt to you.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, I'm not sure how the world is becoming a very victimized place, where people just over glorify the current victim and encourage people to victimize themselves. Where am I going with this? But yeah, I mean, I think that's not going to get you anywhere. You can get stuck as much as you want in, why do I need to be the one who's changing? Why do I need to be the one who's working? And it's like, I say this a lot with people that I work with or talk to about being single is that it's frustrating to be the single person and to have to be the one to either advocate for singles and to defend yourself, or to be the one to just walk away and have to put in all the effort to cope with people's prejudice, because the prejudice is always going to be there. And while it is changing a bit, it's changing very slowly. And people are always going to see being single a bit lower than being in a relationship.
I think it's
so
because
you have to be the one to put in the effort to learn how to cope with it better.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's I completely agree with that. It's completely, you know, the fact that it's so. I'll take another example, like to steer away from single and things. So today I'm applying for, so you know, I was applying for jobs. Now I've got into the interview process, but I've applied for jobs before, and I did my CV in such a way that it was, you know, I felt it was very good, and I put everything in it, and I was, you know, my best CV, my best self, and I wasn't getting any interviews. I just wasn't, and I'd spent hours on it. I'd spent, you know, I mean, if anybody who's done a CV knows how long it takes to make a good one, yeah, I'd spent hours on it, and it wasn't getting any traction. And and people were saying, you know, it's too long, or this or that or this or that, and I was just like, I'm just trying to be different, and people can't, you know, companies adapt to me and just, you know, be kind and, you know, give me a chance and meet with me, like they don't know, you know. And I was told, well, I mean, companies look at CVs for 3 to 30 seconds, like they need to get all of the information. And because everybody else is adapting to them, like why would they make the effort for this just one person on this, like on this piece of paper, which makes complete sense. Like on the first impression, why would the people who have an abundance in choice make the effort? Because they've got so many other options, and you know, and or it's kind of like, you know, another example is a lifetime ago, I was working in a jewelry shop, and earrings, and so the things, you know, that you put behind an earring, sometimes they fall off. And you know, it's a bit annoying. And when somebody would come in and they say, I lost the thing behind my earring, can I get another one? And we'd say, yeah,
what's it called?
Yeah, earring caps or seals or whatever. And we'd tell them, well, you need to buy it. Yeah, we sell them. And they're like, well, I lost mine. And I said, you know, we'd say, well, how can you prove, you know, how do we know that you lost it? Well, look, I haven't got it. And we would say, but it would be so easy for you to just leave it at home. You know, we can't just trust you because you seem nice. And they do this whole thing of, yeah, but you can trust me, I'm honest, blah blah blah, like this is ridiculous, why would I come back just with the one? Like, so many, you know, this is gold, this is, you know, we're selling you gold, you know, if you get 20 of them, you can melt it and make another earring yourself, like, you know, this is gold, and we're not gonna just give gold away. And they get the whole frustrated, and it's like, you need to, you know, this isn't just you, this is you versus a lot of other people, and sadly, you know, you need to adapt to everything, and this is how these things work. And anyway, it's a huge tangent from adapting to the world, but it's, you know, people sometimes have trouble understanding that they are not the only ones in this world, and they are not, and we're in competition with each other all the time. It's that, you know, it's, I don't know if it's sad to say, but that's just the truth. It's just, we are in competition with each other all the time. And to loop back to, you know, dating a 3-year-old, you know, JT was saying, oh, but she's so cute and she's so nice, that she is. But, you know, if you compare her to another cute child who doesn't hit and doesn't scream, which one will teachers want to spend more time with? Which ones will other kids want to spend more time with? You know, if you need to get to know her to know how cute she is, then she's never going to go anywhere, because the first impression is so negative.